Hello and welcome to another edition of Goal Line Crossers or Goal Line Crossers. Either way works. This is episode first and seven.
I'm
Am I
starting
right
to
on
lose
that?
track. I know. I'm starting to
No.
lose track now.
Look, eventually we're going to get to numbers that just really don't make sense, but whatever. First and seven is also one of them. Can't imagine we're going to see a lot of those this season. But welcome back. Exciting review this week. We had our first full week of football for college and pro. So happy to kind of kick it off and get started this week.
So first, I was just thinking of something. I feel like it should be a drinking game every time someone is at like first and seven, you take a drink when you're watching a game.
Why don't you drink? Why is it that I take a drink? Which, by the way,
No, everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm more than fine with doing beverage games, but I just want to make sure that everyone was participating. It wasn't just me.
No, everybody listening. So basically nobody's drinking this week is what we're getting
at this point, first and seven, not going to happen much. So again, social media, text messages, let us know if you come across first and seven at all this weekend, because not going to happen, but that's fine. Great concept for naming the episodes. So we'll keep it.
My gosh. So I noticed you changed your name to Play Through the Pain, but I also have a change. For those of us who are watching, or those of you who are watching on YouTube. Can you read that?
I can, and this makes for great audio, by the way, just so that folks can understand what she's doing. Stacy has like one of those little like marquee signs behind her desk. I actually got it for her for a Christmas present one year. Thought she could do like fun little sayings, little like witty wisdoms, famous quotes, like whatever.
So read us our funny little saying today. I'm going to take a sip while you read.
So the funny little saying is he S a safety.
Okay, I don't have an apostrophe, okay? He's a safety. Who could I be talking about? I wonder.
There's a lot of them in the NFL.
True.
Talking about Jamal Adams. He got hurt this week. Is that who you're referencing?
No. So we're going to call this section the redaction report, where just like in newspapers, when people make a mistake, they have to go in and publish a redaction. So, it's a retraction.
Yeah, I was wondering where you were going with that.
As I was saying that, I'm like, all I could think was Trump's redacted stuff. And I was like, wait, that's not right. Okay, we're going to call it a retraction report.
Okay.
And you made a mistake that you need to retract.
I didn't make a mistake.
No, you made a mistake. We had an argument. No, you said he's not a safety. And when I say he, I'm referring to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, formerly of the Saints, now on the Eagles. You said he's not a safety. That is what you said. That is a mistake.
It's not a mistake.
Andrew Fry.
At the time I said
you can't see me right now, but I am crossing my arms and I am getting mad.
At the time that I said it, he had not played for the Eagles yet. Thus, he had not been a safety yet for the Eagles. He was still a slot corner.
What is he playing for the Eagles right now?
A safety.
Okay, that's all I need to know. So let's move on, okay? Because you can never be wrong, which if you were to ask me what your toxic trait is, that 100% is it.
I don't ask you for my toxic trait, so thank you very much for just offering.
Well, I'm telling you, that's what it is, and I was correct. So we can now move on. I feel better.
Well, that's good. At least one of us does.
Actually, I don't feel really good after week 1 of football.
Why?
I just feel like I had a good handle on what was going to happen last week, and it didn't go the way I had hoped. Now the Saints won.
I was gonna say, that's why I'm like slightly confused.
But I don't love the way they won, right?
Agreed. I'm guessing you expected more of a blowout since they were playing the Falcons.
Not even a blowout. I don't even want to say a blowout. I just thought we would dominate a little bit more. I don't love that it came down to really Will Lutz at the end kicking a, what was it, 51-yarder or something like that. After he really hasn't played for a while. And against the Falcons, like they're a rival, and we just talked about how they're probably the worst team in the division, and it's just not how I wanted to start my year.
Let's also remind you that you were down by like 16 or
Yep.
something like that. And
Biggest fourth quarter deficit that we've ever come back from. I love that we did it in Atlanta.
Probably gave them flashbacks of the Patriots at Super Bowl, but either way, yeah, no, I can understand that. I mean, look, I'm a Cowboys fan, so needless to say, my weekend was a little worse. Didn't quite go the way I had expected. Not only did we look like trash, and I say we like I'm on the team, but did they look like trash? But then Dak proceeded to break a hand or a thumb, and we lost our starting left guard, and we lost the corner. Like, it just didn't quite go the way I thought it was going to. And to the point where I'm now researching guys in the draft for next year. Like,
oh no,
who are top?
really?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Look, I am that far already. So, hey, look, life comes at you fast. And so I'm already reacting to that.
This is a dumb question, but I'm assuming it's his right thumb.
Correct.
And you can't play with a broken thumb? No. You really, that's important for holding the ball.
Could you, how would you grip a ball without a thumb? Like,
I don't
think
know.
about that. Like, if you took your hand and you couldn't use your thumb, how are you gripping the ball with just the four fingers and then throwing it?
Can we just do like a lot of handoff plays?
Yeah, that's gonna help a lot. Is that doesn't make us even worse? Look, it is what it is. He's out, I think, like 4 to 6 weeks. Jerry Jones is lying and saying he'll be back in 4.
Who are those 4 to 6 weeks? Like, are they your strength of schedule? What's that look like?
And so we've got, I would argue, 2 winnable games in there, but we also still play, I think, the Rams next week. So it's not like, or not. Is it the Rams? No, I don't think it's the Rams actually, but it is a.
Oh no, you play the Bengals.
Bengals, yeah. So like we play, we're like a 10-point underdog.
Yeah.
So we will likely go 1-5. Like, lucky maybe to go 1-5 in those 6 games. But it's not going to be pretty, especially because the rest of the NFC East won, right? Like the Redskins won. Carson Wentz decided that he could play football again. Saquon Barkley decided that he found the fountain of youth. And Brian Daboll has cojones, big ones, just like Mike McDaniel, and Tyreek Hill called it as such. But Daboll goes for the win and gets rewarded for it. And then the Eagles played the Lions. But they all won. So look, it is what it is. So if I had to say, what was your I know you weren't so happy with how the Saints and the Falcons turned out, but what would you say was your biggest surprise from the weekend?
Well, it has to be my survivor pick. If I go back to when we were ranking the divisions, and I can't really remember specifics, but I feel like I had the Titans like maybe winning the division, and I had the Giants like probably losing their division. So that game really threw me for a loop, and it really upset me even more because it happened before your pick'em, and you were like gloating the day away about your new sneakers that you're going to get because of our bet, which luckily didn't work out. So I think that's probably my biggest surprise from the weekend. What about you?
So I'm actually going to go to college. I know you're not as big into college as I am, but I'm going to sprinkle some college in here. So the fact that Texas was leading Alabama at multiple points in the game, and on top of that, really, it took an Alabama fourth quarter comeback to win the game and only win the game by 1. Totally shocking to me. I'm not ready to say Texas is back, but I thought Alabama was one of the top 2 teams in the country. Georgia was 1, maybe Alabama 1, whatever, 1-2. Texas played them good, like hard, and lost their starting quarterback early in the game. Shocked at that outcome. By far, even though it wasn't a true upset, by far the most surprising outcome of the weekend, even with some of the upsets that did occur. Still, by far, to me the biggest shocker, so to speak, or eye opener of the entire weekend. The NFL is always unpredictable in week one, and yes, I lost my survivor pick too. Can't believe Russell Wilson lost to the Seahawks. But NFL is always a little unpredictable. Like this is week 2 or 3 for college. Like all these teams have had a couple games under their belt. I was really shocked that Texas played them that well. So that was definitely my surprise, so to speak, of the weekend.
So we obviously we not obvious to everybody, but obvious to us, attended a college game this weekend as part of our with our youth football team. We were able to visit Penn State as they played a team I didn't know existed, Ohio University, which
how did you not know the Bobcats existed?
I don't know. Ohio is a weird state. Like, what's in Ohio? The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Ohio State.
There's like 5 professional teams that are in Ohio,
which is amazing to me. Like, it's Ohio. They have the worst drivers, also. But what struck me the most about the college game is it was really eye-opening to me how much I hate bleachers. I cannot attend college games anymore. I can't do it. I need a back rest. That I was dying and I didn't even have a hangover or anything. I just hated it. I hated every second of it.
Hashtag first world problems. Like I can't believe that's what you hated about it.
Also, it was a blowout, but it was like the longest game ever. It was a team I don't care about. The dumb Lion King thing when they play the Lion King song and hold up their dumb pom-poms. Ugh, I can't. I was done with Happy Valley on Saturday.
Look, we're not fans, so I get it. Our son had a blast, which is really all that matters. Drew loved it, which is great. I would agree, wasn't exactly the most fun or entertaining game I had been to. I will say Nick Singleton is the real deal. Drew Alar should be the starting quarterback. Sean Clifford is going to lose Penn State some games. But it was cool. I also, I'm shocked you didn't bring it up. We also got to sit and wait for the players to like leave the field so that our son could go on and get his picture on the field. And so what was shocking to you about while we were waiting to walk onto the field?
To walk onto the field or to wait for the players?
While we were waiting to walk onto the field.
I know what you're referring to. I loved, so we were standing in the tunnel where the away team came off the field. And I mean, they're college kids, right? They're really kids, 19, 20 years old, big kids. But each one called for their mom. It was the cutest thing. I loved seeing them scan the crowd with their eyes and look for their mom and say, "Mom, I'll be out in, whatever, half hour." I was like, they still love their mom. It just made me so happy.
And then Drew said, "I'll never do that." And I said, "Yes."
No, he is a mama's boy. He 100% will. No, I thought the direction you were going was when you mentioned Clifford was our daughter and son waiting for autographs that he wouldn't sign.
Well, our kids didn't try to get an autograph. We heard the
others.
Correct. No, but
that's
agreed.
frustrating. Yeah. That's frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, to set the context, after the game, there is the ability to kind of hang out outside the stadium and the kids leave the stadium, right? Like, again, they're normal 19 to 22-year-old kids. And so our youth players and teammates of my son's were standing outside waiting to get football signed, and our son got his shirt signed. Our daughter was taking selfies with guys. She didn't even know who they were. But they were like, it was cool. And there were 2 players on our team, both quarterbacks, their brothers, who all they wanted to do was sort of meet Sean Clifford and get a ball signed by him. And so they apparently found him after the game as he was exiting and walked up to get a signature from him. And he promptly gave them the Heisman and told them no, which was very disappointing for both of them. They are both Penn State fans. Like that was half the reason they went. So then they honestly pointed their, I would say, attention to Drew Alar, the freshman, who was also signing, but had a crowd around him. And so they waited in line very patiently. And as the youngest, the first one in line of the two, the youngest, walks up holding the ball out, the parents of Drew Alar kind of step in and say, okay, we've got to cut this off. Sorry, everybody. And they like usher Drew away. Now, again, this kid's 18, 19 years
Yeah, he's a
old. Like
kid.
you listen to your parents. It's just really unfortunate that like these
Yeah.
two young quarterbacks who like their whole reason, not reason, a whole reason, but one of the reasons for going was there. So it's just unfortunate. It's also unfortunate how Sean Clifford handled it. He is like a sixth-year senior. He's like 23. He's got his whole NIL deal. So perhaps he signs for money now. I don't know. But it was unfortunate because, I mean, again, that was a big piece of why the kids were there. So our kids could care less, right? They were getting signatures from anybody. And they didn't care who it was. We also met a kid who got a security guard's signature. So, I mean, it was great. But it was a good time.
No, it was.
I will say it was also very interesting. It was the first home game for Penn State. So it was their first Penn State home game. It was really interesting how the freshmen handled it. Again, these are 18, 19-year-old kids.
Yeah.
All they know is high school ball. So
I'm glad I was going to bring this up. I'm glad.
Yeah, you and I were sitting there and look to our right, and this like 6'4", 6'5", 325-pound offensive lineman walks by who is a freshman, just got done signing an autograph and like finally gets through the crowd. And he just looks around going, holy, like, is this what
to
it's
himself.
like? Yeah, to himself, he's muttering, this is nuts. Is this what it's like every week? Like, this is crazy. And he's just like walking away.
It's cute.
And it was really cute. It was eye-opening again that it's like their first home game. And truthfully, in my head, I'm like, welcome to the big leagues, right? Like in my head, I'm like, yes, this is what it's going to be like at Penn State for you. And it'll be worse if you end up being a stud. In fact, you'll have more attention. But
yeah,
it was really funny and eye-opening, a reminder that they're only like 18 and this is the first time they experienced it. So it was pretty cool.
So while I didn't love the game, what I do love is a good tailgate. That is usually the reason I even go to a concert or a football game, is because I like the tailgate. So we're going to talk about our top 3 tailgate items, top 3 tailgate must-haves. One is a food item, one is a beverage item, and one is a non-food or beverage item.
Can I get a clarification?
Yes.
Is it hot or cold? Meaning,
going
in the summer or are we going in the winter?
It's like a fall. Like it could be chilly in the morning. It could be 80 in the afternoon.
We'll assume a fall like football game or fall concert or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That just it changes some of the menu.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So let's do food first. Do you have your 3? Are you good?
Oh, sweetie.
What do you have? What do you have picked out?
Mine I have all of them. I'm debating between some. I mean, it's really like food is really hard. Like, we can start there, but like, there's just so many choices, right?
All right, let's start non-food, non-drink.
Oh, okay. Well, that's easy for me.
Okay, what's yours?
I'm if we take the tent out of it, because I like shade and I hate.
No, that's an item that counts.
No, we can't do that. That feels it for me.
No, it counts.
Well, then you say tent.
No, no, that's not a must-have for me.
Oh man.
You say tent.
Well, then I'm just going to assume that we're going with the Templins and they're bringing a tent. And that means I'm going to say that my must-have is cornhole. I love a good cornhole game. I have the nice Michigan boards. I can throw cornhole for hours, minus broken ribs, but I can throw cornhole for hours. So to me, it's cornhole. Oh man, I was gonna say a speaker too. I'm sticking with cornhole. I'm sticking with it.
Well, you're in luck because I'm bringing the speaker.
Okay, good. We're a good partner team.
Yes, I need music. I don't want to hear other people's crappy music. Speaker it is. Sets the tone for the day. You have to have a good playlist.
I agree.
We were just at the tailgate we were at. Steve was lovely and took care of the music. But at one point, Sarah McLachlan, Angel, is that it? The dog commercial, like you
Yeah.
too can save the life of, like that song was playing, and I was like, all right, Steve, we gotta.
I love how you called him on it too. You're like, Steve, are we trying to save the SPCA animals? And he's like, oh, sorry. And he, like, changed it right away.
No, but overall, it was good. That song, not so good. All right, all right, let's go to beverage. Should I go first this time?
No, I need a beer. I want a good beer.
Okay.
And I would argue a seasonal beer. Like I'll say that. I think that's a generic enough term. Because again, if this was summer, I would love a seasonal summer beer. If it's a winter, I could take a winter beer. Fall, perfect. Give me a Boston Lager or whatever. But yeah, no. To me, tailgate, I'm going off the seltzers for once, and I'm gonna enjoy a beer.
I think you'll be surprised by mine because I never bring it to a tailgate,
Then how is this true?
but I really enjoy it when it's at a tailgate. Like if somebody else brings it, I'm gonna go with Jello shots. I think they're fun. They're a good way to like interact with other tailgates. Like, oh, you want a Jello shot? You know, it's a nice way to make friends. So
You know what else?
Mara makes a really strong one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Mara's a, yeah. Mara makes some really strong ones, but you can do drinking games with beer. You can't do it with Jello shots.
Well,
Like,
you brought the beer, so we're good. Again, we're a good team.
yeah, and I go back to like for you to say Jello shots, you never actually bring them ever.
I rely on somebody else.
Okay.
All right, last one is food. I'm
Ugh.
curious what you're gonna say here. Should I go first this time?
Yes, I think you have to.
Okay.
I'll go first the other two.
So the reason I'm gonna pick this one is because at the last tailgate we were at, it was right before we were going into the game. It was a noon game. So like the dew was just burning off. Like it was kind of chilly in the shade, but it was getting warm. And the people next to us had like a Blackstone or something, and they were grilling up sausages and brats and like, I don't even like them, but peppers and onions and the smell. I was like, why didn't we bring the sausages? So I think a sausage on a good roll with mustard is my tailgate food of choice.
I go back to I have been to a ton of tailgates with you. Ton.
Okay.
Matt, we've been together for like 15, married 13. I think I might get myself in trouble.
All your numbers are very wrong, but
whatever.
Yeah.
Double digits. I've been to tons. You've never, ever brought sausage.
Okay,
ever.
First of all, we always seem to go to noon games. Like
concert games, you've never brought sausage.
Concerts,
ever.
You can't have a grill. We can never bring a grill.
You can at Hershey.
Well, we don't have a grill, like a small portable one. Guess what you're getting for Christmas? You're gonna make me some sausages.
I can't believe you said sausages.
It was the smell last Saturday. I was like, I really want a sausage, but no, I just had monkey bread and buffalo chicken dip.
Look, I thought our meat bagel sandwiches were good. I enjoyed those. So, okay. So I'm severely torn here. So we, as noted, have been to a ton of tailgates. I've been to very fancy ones where we have a huge spread and charcuterie boards and whatever. Charcuterie, whatever. Charcuterie. Almost like redacting, but that's beside so yeah. So and I've also been to not so great ones where I think I can remember one where you and I brought like a case of beer and chips, if I recall.
First of all, we had something to grill, but we
couldn't set up a grill. Right.
So I can think of one where you went to Notre Dame, Michigan with 3 other dudes, and I think you had one sub and a bag of chips on the table to share.
Honestly, we each had a sub and we had chips. So like I run the gamut, right? But I feel like there is a constant or consistent theme of munchies. Like so we try to eat healthy, or at least we have over the last couple of years. And I feel like with a tailgate, we look at each other and we go, we're gonna take this one off. And so I want munchies. Like I want
like what? Like chips?
Doritos. I want sour cream and onion chips. I want like
That's so
You know,
lame.
the honey mustard pretzels. Like I'm good with that stuff. Like
That is so lame.
Oh, look,
Don't even come for my sausages.
I can at least say I have brought and or consumed one of those items at every tailgate I've ever been at.
That's
You,
lame.
on the other hand, can never say you've consumed a sausage at a tailgate.
Might be true.
Well
I
then,
feel like I have, but whatever. Okay, well, that was a letdown. You ended that note on chips. So speaking of letdowns, let's continue that theme with,
so are you referencing fantasy football? Because I
yeah.
feel like I went 0 for 5 this week.
Ooh, you did?
Yeah,
Oh,
0
wow.
for, 0 for 5.
That's terrible.
So
What was your problem?
my problem is that my team stinks. No, honestly, like, truthfully, on 3 different teams, I have the same player who's going to be my biggest letdown, so to speak. I bought the Dak / CD Lamb hype. I bought the hype that he was going to be the most targeted receiver on Dallas. I bought the hype that, Dak was still going to try to throw for 4,000 plus yards. So CD's got to be the guy catching them. So I've got him on a couple teams, more than a couple, and he had a bad day. Targeted, I think 7 or 8 times, but only 2 catches. Like it's just it was not a good day. So he was my biggest fantasy disappointment, and honestly, I would say contributed significantly to me losing or going 0 for 5 this week. Which is it's just unfortunate. So, how about yourself?
Wait, was it CD or DAC?
CD.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna stay with the Cowboys. So I'm in 2 leagues and I went 1-1. The league that I lost, I felt really good going into the Cowboys game. I was down by, let me see, I'm looking here, 11 points, and I had Dak to play. And I felt good that he could score 11 plus points. And he scored me 4.46. Whereas I had Jameis Winston on my bench, who scored me well over 20, 25.66. So I guess I'm left with Jameis now as my starter.
Don't pick up Cooper Rush. Like, I was getting text messages today from people or a person who decided to, I'll use air quotes, check in on me and see how I was doing. And so needless to say, I responded with 2 gifs of like not cool and giving the death stare, but whatever. And so this very kind gentleman who's an Eagles fan, after checking up on me, proceeded to ask, like, oh, so are they going to go with, Cooper, they're going to get a veteran quarterback? And the simple answer is no. Like, they're not. They're going to go with Cooper Rush or Will Greer. Don't pick either one of them up. Just hang on to Dak. I don't think he's going to have a great year, obviously, but I mean, I wouldn't get rid of him. So unless you have another person to drop, I would roll with Winston, Jameis,
Yeah.
4 to 6 weeks and then see what happens when Dak comes back. So
Yeah, we'll see.
by the way, so I was helping advise one of your opponents, so to speak, in the girls league that you're in. Did she win?
Who was it?
Euchre.
Oh, what a cheater. I'll let you know. I'll look
I
it
was
up.
gonna say, I literally dropped her tight end for her. I put in a tight end. I did tell her to check that if Zach Ertz was
Right. I
playing.
remember that.
If Zach Ertz was playing, she should put Zach Ertz in. So I don't know if she actually did that, but I was curious if Robin won or not.
She did not.
Okay.
She lost.
All right. Sorry, Robin.
Maybe next time. All right. So we're going to do a little segment, which I had to really think about, mostly because I like music a lot. And music is a motivator for me. So I had a hard time narrowing it down. Why are you making that face?
What do you mean a motivator?
Like when I really want to clean, I got to put on good music, or when I don't want to kill my children, I put on good music. So I get happy.
Do you have like a I want to get in the mood type music? Because I can make sure that that's playing sometimes. Like,
well, it's not this podcast.
Wow.
It's not this podcast. So let's just be clear about that. No, top 3 hype songs.
Oh, you're just gonna let that one slide by?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's
we're gonna
fine.
move on.
Understood. Okay.
Top 3 hype songs, right? Like when you see the players walking in, I often wonder what they're listening to in their headphones. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe they just, because that's like the international sign of don't talk to me,
Yeah.
which people do still ignore that at the airport specifically. But so what are they listening to in their headphones? I wonder. What would you listen to in your headphones?
Oh, I'm gonna go first. All right. So when we first talked about like we were gonna do this category, I'll be honest, like the first song that truly popped in my head, and it's not one of my top 3, was the Michigan Fight song. And
You're so
I
lame.
know, and that's
You
what
eat
like,
your
and
chips and watch listen to Michigan
again,
Fight
it's
song.
not one of my top 3,
You're such a
but
dork.
it was the first one that came into my head. It's my favorite team. When I hear it, I like when we hear it live, I literally get goosebumps. Like it is so awesome. But that's how, I mean, like to your point of like, what would I be listening to if I was 21 years old, sitting in a locker room, like getting ready to go out there with my AirPods in? Like, truthfully, my 3 would be like so Eminem Lose Yourself, I think is a very for my era, that's a very classic one that just
Okay.
has a beat, right? And it mounts and you start to get angry. I will show my age, but like I grew up memorizing Jump Around from House of Pain. I feel
Okay.
like that would be on my playlist for a hype song, to sort of, get ready. And then I don't know if you're going to agree with this one, but Turn Down for What is a
You are
great
all over the
song.
place.
I am, but like Lil Jon, right? Turn
Yeah.
down for what? It's got a good, as our son says, it has a sick bass beat. So like yeah, I think those would be like my top 3 that I would just be.
That's not what I expected at all. I thought there would be like Biggie on there or
Oh, I was look, you can't go wrong with like Juicy from Biggie and some of the others, but it's just not. I don't know,
not a
like
hype
it's not what
song.
I envision as a hype song.
Yeah. Okay, so mine, I don't have any fight songs on my list, so sorry to disappoint.
So then you're loser.
My first one is, I probably might be a little bit lame. Ti, Bring Him Out. I think like the words make sense, like when you're getting ready to go
Yeah,
out
it's
and
the super cliche answer, but continue. Okay.
whatever. It hypes me
That
up
was
and I
like
love
what
Ti.
every high school did for high school basketball in like the 90s. Like, of course.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
maybe that's why I like it. Let me live. Now I'm nervous to see my other picks. You're gonna judge me.
I am.
Metallica, Enter Sandman.
Nah, I can't hate on that. I can't hate on that.
Also, that was my song of choice when I was the drummer in our rock band.
That is true.
So
Which you were
that
pretty
gets
good
me.
at, by the way. Fake drumming.
Fantastic.
I know.
I should be a real drummer. For my
No,
40th birthday, I'm gonna get a
nope.
set of drums.
Nope. No, you're not.
And my last one is Linkin Park, Bleed It Out.
Oh, ooh, okay.
So now
Just
you know. If you
angry
hear those
music?
songs playing, yeah.
Okay.
So I love that. The reason I even thought of doing this segment is because we literally have on my Spotify account a playlist called Drew's Hype List, which he listens to before his games, which is also eclectic. I mean, Space Jam is on there and like some rap. We're great parents.
I almost picked Space Jam, by the way. Like when I was growing up, Space Jam, that was hit 'em high, hit 'em low. Like that was, I loved that. Like I would sit there and I'd listen, hit 'em high, hit 'em high, hit 'em high,
Okay,
hit 'em
okay,
low,
thank
hit
you,
'em
thank
low,
you.
hit 'em low.
Okay,
Like,
and you're done.
oh, whatever. I loved it.
All right. Well, now you know if you hear those songs playing,
I need to run. Sure.
yeah, shit's about to get real.
Done. Oh, you
So,
cursed.
well, it's not. I checked the box on YouTube. This is not for kids.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
All right.
Oh,
Moving on. We got to wrap it up here. We're like going
yeah.
long today.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Talking
All
too
right.
much.
So, look, man, I enjoy speaking with you.
That's good because we're married.
Yeah, I guess it is. So now what are we, so now we're gonna look at what the heck?
Let's move into week 2. Talk about what's coming up, pro, college, and we have to address our pick'em situation because I need to know how that works now.
Okay, yeah. So So this week, what is your, like, I would say top game on the slate this week, college and pro?
Well, I'm not a huge college fan, so in terms of college, the only game that I know that's even happening this weekend is the UConn Michigan game, which I don't really care about that.
How do you not care about that?
It's UConn. Like Michigan's had 3
It's
easy
the
weeks in a
beginning
row.
of the JJ McCarthy era. Like, let's get
Yeah,
real here, girl. We
you're
just talked
right.
about last week. If he had a great game against Hawaii, which I sat there with our friend Steve, who was
Steve's getting a lot of
probably one
shout
of the,
outs.
what was that? Oh yeah, he's one of the few people though that can hang with me from a Michigan knowledge perspective. Which again, kudos to him. But we're sitting there listening and or watching the game, and all we could talk about is how like he's the real deal. And so I'm not shocked that within minutes of the game getting done that he was announced as the starter. So like this is game one of the McCarthy era, and I think it's like again should be a blowout. That's fine, but if he continues that torrid pace, look, man, watch out. I'm just telling you right now, Michigan is going to be a really good team this year. So don't poo-poo the UConn game.
I'm not poo-pooing it. I just don't care that much. I'm not that
Okay.
excited about it.
Okay.
So again, like not super versed in all the teams like you are. I don't really care about all the teams as much as you do. But the truth is, my team does have a big game. It's our first home game. We play the Bucks, and I'm interested to see how that goes. I'm hopeful that we play a little bit better than we did against the Falcons. I'm hopeful that when we talked about the NFC South, that I was like, maybe the Saints could be in first. Like maybe this is the weekend where we show it. It's a home game. You've been in that stadium when it's
amazing.
yeah, I mean, the energy in there is wild. So I'm looking forward to seeing that game. It's a 1 o'clock game. I'm looking at the schedule. Eagles play at 8:30. Ravens and Steelers play at 1. I probably won't see it on TV, but
You know.
yeah. So it's a bummer.
Well,
How about
I'm
you?
not looking forward to the Cowboys game. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a given. It's a loss. Whatever. I'm actually so there's two games. One is Thursday night game, which we have to figure out how to watch on Amazon Prime. So for those of you that don't know, this Thursday will only be on Amazon Prime. So make sure you guys figure out how to watch that. I feel like most people have that now, but either way, warning to all, it's on Prime Video. But the Chargers Chiefs play. I really the Chiefs looked great. The Chargers, Khalil Mack had 3 sacks. I think it's a chance to see if the Chargers are for real this year. So looking forward to that. And then maybe it's because it's local, maybe it's because of our friends or whatever. I'm actually looking forward to a Monday night game. I think the Vikings are going to have a really good offense this year. As I said when we did our preview, which I think was the preview last week, I really think the Vikings are going to be able to score. Kevin O'Connell from a coach perspective, with Jefferson and Cousins and Cook, and the offensive line played great. I mean they destroyed Green Bay, which again we didn't talk about, but maybe Green Bay is not as good as we thought. But I'm curious how the Eagles are going to stand up against them. So those are sort of like the two games that I have like the most interest in, because I feel like it's which one of the 4 teams are for real, right? Or two of them. Meaning, are the Chiefs really just going to be head and shoulders above everyone, or are the Chargers for real? And then out of the NFC, are the Vikings or the Eagles for real? And I think it's interesting that we get to see that kind of early on in the second week of the season. So it's kind of that's what I'm hoping for. And then from college, I know you obviously poo-pooed the Michigan game and don't follow college much. There's only a couple ranked games. I'm actually going to pick a game that isn't even between ranked opponents. Um, Again, I think some of it's because of the local flair, but Penn State is now being talked about as being ranked in different polls. They're undefeated. I feel like their fan base is getting a little cocky, and now they play Auburn. So I think we'll get to see against a true SEC opponent, how do they stand up? Is Sean Clifford able to do enough? Does Drew Alar have to step in? So I'm
Is
going
it
to be
away?
curious. No, I think it's at home. Wait, they did a home at home, so I can't remember where they played last year. No, last year it was at Penn State, so this year it's going to be at Auburn. So yeah, it's in Auburn, it's in Alabama. So yeah, I'll be curious to see how that game ultimately turns out. Penn State's ranked, Auburn isn't, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. So.
All right, so you already alluded to it, but I want to wrap us up here with the pick'em. So we both lost. Now we just kind of start over, right? But we can't pick the teams we picked.
Correct. So because there's only two of us, the fact that we both lost means we roll over to the next week. But the teams that we picked are done. We can't use them again. So they're still dead teams. We just both roll over to the next week as still being alive.
Okay, I'm gonna pick first.
Oh, okay.
I had a hard time when I was, again, I don't read Twitter every day, all day. I don't listen to ESPN all day, every day. The amount I talk about football is what I talk about with you when we record this podcast and whatever comes across my feed about the Saints. I don't really follow other teams. So when I'm looking at the schedule, none of them really stuck out to me as like, oh yeah. So I'm picking the Bengals over the Cowboys.
Oh, that's a safe bet.
Well, I thought it was a safe bet last week. So I think the Bengals, I think that was a fluke last week.
That's a safe bet.
So that's where I'm going.
All right. So again, safe bet. I think I now need to react and try to take a safe bet myself to make sure that I advance just like you're going to advance because you will. And so I'm going to turn around and I'm going to take, I already took them last week. I'm going to take the Rams against the Falcons. So I'm going to use, the defending Super Bowl champs already at home against Atlanta. So I'm gonna take the Rams. I'm gonna try to just advance this week like you do, and then figure out next week from there.
Obviously, for the sake of this bet and for the sake of my division, I hope you're wrong. But
well, unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna be. So either way, that's great. So, but I think that does it for this week, right? So
yeah,
we might have went a little long, so apologies, everyone. We're still trying to work through this, but hey. Follow us on social media. We're at Goal Line Crossers on Instagram and Facebook.
Technically, no, TikTok, but
TikTok.
That's not good. We gotta make TikToks or something. I don't know. I need help from like a teenager though.
Well, we don't have one of those, but maybe we'll find one. Okay, so no, follow us and check there. Still looking for sponsorships. Still looking for interviews. So let us know. But either way, hope you guys have a great week. Enjoy the weekend of football ahead of us. And we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, everybody.